not talking about anything anymore. So this has been
Jazzman's
Blues. Yeah. Almost forgot the name. That's how not memorable this is.
Yeah. Disappointing.
Hi, I'm Danielle.
And I'm Del.
And this is the Black Catch-Up, where we're catching up on iconic black media we missed out on in our more conservative religious childhood.
So today we had a newer Tyler Perry joint, a Jazzman's Blues.
Yes. And I will say I didn't know this was a Tyler Perry movie until I started watching it. As in, not because of his Tyler Perryisms, but because I looked it up.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize it was a Tyler Perry movie.
Yeah.
So, as always, IMDb follows an investigation into an unsolved murder, unveiling a story full of forbidden love, deceit, and a secret.
Okay. Yeah, so I guess as usual, starting off with things we liked.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess I'll start.
Yeah, you get started.
I thought this was a very interesting story on paper. Like I don't know, it just seemed like it had like a lot of like drama, a lot of like cool elements that I thought make a story good. Like you have this guy, he has like some forbidden love, and then he ends up having to like get whisked away because like the way race relations are at that time, like he whistled at a white woman, kind of gets like, the lynch mob after him, so like he ends up like getting whisked off and then ends up becoming like a famous musician, and then kind of comes back and like sees his family again for one last hurrah, like realizes he has a kid. So I thought like the story itself was actually pretty interesting and like had some like, I don't know, little like good moments for drama. So I just thought like the story had a lot of interesting elements in it.
Yeah, I could second that. One of my favorite characters in the story was the mom character. I thought she was the best actress there. I know her from How to Get Away with Murder. She's really good in that as well. I like the scene where she yells at Leanne for trying to get in contact with her son again after Bayou's already gone away. Yeah. And she's like, Leanne's coming in and is like, I want to see him. And she's like, you only think of yourself. I liked her in that scene. I like the scene where she talks to the sheriff after Leanne's mom cries rape. And she's like, I know the sheriff. He could like, we talked a lot. He'll do a favor for me. And it kind of is this like little thing where she kind of is almost forgets she's black in a way, where it's like, if you were a white woman, you could like curry favors with the sheriff's department, but you're still a black woman and they got a lynch mob behind them. So it kind of is that slight thing where it's like, I kind of don't know if the sheriff is actually just going to burn their house down anyway because they're not being helpful. It was one of those types of scenes. So I thought the main mom actress was really good. I liked her.
I actually really liked the mom as well. She's also my favorite character for, I guess, similar reasons. She seemed like the most like, I guess, down to earth and like not crazy in a sense. Like, didn't have any other like glaring problem,
Yeah, I liked her.
Yeah. I also thought this one had like a couple good like shots, zooms, and lightings, like a few like like cinematic moments like that. There was I forget what was happening in the scene, but there was one scene where you just like kind of see the sunlight coming into the scene and kind of like almost like blinding the whole shot. But I thought it looked really cool. So there's a few like shots like that I enjoyed in this one.
Cool. The last thing I had was I'm going to be very specific about this. I enjoyed the musical numbers when he was in the jazz club. I really thought they were like fun and lively. I just enjoyed the musical numbers.
Okay. I've already talked about lighting, so I'm done. Yeah, did you have anything else?
No, that was it.
Okay. So I guess we'll get into the negatives now.
Yeah.
I guess I'll start. Like, my main problem with this, none of the characters were likable. They were all very, like, unlikable. You had the main character. I just thought he was, like, kind of boring and kind of got walked all over throughout most of the movie.
Yeah.
Especially by his, like, brother and dad. And then his brother was, like, actually the worst person ever for, like... And I didn't even get why he was, like, the worst. Like, I didn't even know why. Like... They start off with that first scene of them as kids.
That's very a Tyler Perry thing.
Yeah.
That's a very Tyler Perry thing, to have someone be the worst, but kind of, you don't know why, and you're like...
reason, yeah. Like, even that first scene, like, where his dad makes him pick up the trumpet, I'm like, he's a grown kid. You know he can't play trumpet. Why are you forcing him to do this? Just so you can laugh at him. And then he's, like, going on the date with Leanne or whatever, and his brother just shoves him for no reason. I was like, why are you the worst? Like, there's like, no context for you being the worst right now, you know?
Yeah.
So dad was the worst, brother was the
thing.
worst. He was just kind of lame, got walked over. Like I said, the mom, my favorite character, the only one I actually liked. Leanne was just, like, great. Selfish and kind of annoying throughout most of the movie. Just, like, always thinking of herself, always trying to get this man in trouble. Like, just all the characters were just very unlikable, you know? Which is, like, again, like, the story itself could have been interesting, but, like, I didn't want to root for any of these characters, really. You know? So, like, that was, like, the
I rooted for the mom.
problem, you know? But yeah, like, the brother was the absolute worst. Like, he almost ruined the whole movie. Like, I don't know why he was so bad. Like, he set up a whole hit on his brother at the end. I was like,
I know. I was like, why are you selling him out for no reason? Yeah, it didn't even seem like a jealousy thing, because it was like...
Yeah, like, I don't know. You know? Like, again, because he was, like, kind of just an asshole the whole movie. Which also maybe I didn't see why the main Bayou guy was even riding for this kid. Like, you could have, like, ditched him at so many opportunities, but you're like literally putting clothes on him just so he can go down with you to, like, sell you out to, like, the lynch mob, you know? Like,
yeah,
there was no reason for him to be protecting his brother if, like, he wasn't getting the same thing in return. Like it's like you could have pulled the family over everything, but, like, the brother wasn't pulling that at all, so, like...
Yeah. And it wasn't even a thing where the entire family was kind of, like, preaching that, because... If you're pulling a family over everything card, it kind of has to be a thing that, like, everyone's talking about.
Yeah.
Where, like, even if the brother doesn't do it, at least the mom and dad need to also be, like, family over everything. You can't just have... Because then you just seem like a doormat. Like a dumbass that you're like, why are you writing for this guy so hard? He's not writing for you. And your family doesn't seem to care that he's not writing for you either.
Yeah.
Like...
And, like, even that first scene where he came back, because I guess he, like, ran after his father or whatever, and then I don't know what happened in between then, but at some point he comes back to the club with the mom and other son, and he immediately starts being an asshole, but is, like, welcomed with open arms, and I'm like, this guy left for who knows how long, and, like, you just come back and accept, like, even the mom was getting walked over at that point, and I was just like, I don't know, so, like, none of these characters were likable, and that was, like, the main problem for me with this one.
Yeah, this movie in general, it took a while for me to get into it.
Yeah.
And even when I got into it, I wasn't even really into it. Like I mentioned, I like the like I mentioned, I enjoyed the musical numbers, and I said it like that because the music was so generic. It was like it don't mean a thing if you ain't got that. Like they sang that, and it just is one of those things where it's like the lack of attention to detail to make kind of like rich and exciting music for the movie as well, so that you really feel like you're in that world a bit more. Because he played like the most... I think there were only like two, and while they were like a fun time, I mostly liked them because they were a fun time, but like while they were fun, you kind of aren't in the world. Like even when we watch the 4 Heartbeats, I think, is that the fake one? At least from my memory, they at least made up fake songs for them to like be their hit songs. But like for this one, it's like you're just singing generic jazz things and trying to pretend you guys are like this big thing. I don't like that. Yeah. It just is one of those things that's like, I'm not going to say it's so small because writing a song isn't easy, I assume. I don't write music. But it's one of those things where it's like that little bit of extra care would have been in a better movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if this were a better movie, someone would have taken the care to like make the characters more likable, and they would have taken the care to like make like 1 or 2 songs that were like original songs for this movie to like really feed into the world. That's what I would have done at least.
No, I had like a similar thing written down. I just had like the music wasn't really well integrated into the film. Like no,
it was not.
I almost like forgot they were musicians for most of it, and like when they said he was a singer, I don't think we heard him sing till like halfway through the movie. You know, so there was this whole like, oh yeah, singing's your calling, not the trumpet thing, and I was like, okay, but like, where is it though? You know, like we don't really hear him sing till he like goes to Chicago, maybe. Like there might have been a scene before then, but like there wasn't like a lot of it, and like you like I don't know, without that you almost forget like why these people are even like important or why they even like left or anything. You know, like Yeah, they didn't do a great job with the music in this one. Like, I agree. Like, the actual musical numbers were like pretty fun to watch. Like, there was that one where like his brother was like drunk stealing the show kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
that was fun. But
They were mostly
yeah.
fun because it's like I'm not dealing with the characters being themselves. I'm just dealing with like music, and like I love a musical, so like I could always watch people sing and dance. But the musical numbers as a whole, yes. The music itself, bad.
Okay, yeah, glad to hear you say it too, because like I also wrote down like maybe I've just watched too many of those like biopic style, like documentary style ones where like there actually is music in there. But glad to hear I wasn't the only one who thought that for this.
Yeah, that's why I was trying to be very specific, where I just like the number itself and the fact that it was a musical number, I guess. But like, if you take like the music itself is so bad, like no, it's not good. Because it was like it's so generic. Like if you look up jazz, it was like, what's a jazz song?
First three
and then it was
songs.
that.
All right, let's do these. 1, 2, 3. You know,
Yeah, it was like that. The last one I have was the mayor being the mixed race son of Bayou. It was supposed to be a gut punch, but I forgot that was the framework of this movie. How we were going back in time. And Tyler Perry does this all the time. He tries to like introduce a like interesting way of like unfolding the story, but then it's like so clunkily done that you're like, well, does it matter? Like, I had to rewind this movie multiple times, like at least 3 times, because it was so hard to like focus and pay attention to anything that was happening. So then when it came to, so this movie's like a little over 2 hours if I'm not mistaken. So by the time I was finished watching it, it was more like 2 hours and 30 minutes because I had to keep rewinding. But then by the time we get to the part where it's like, oh, the mayor is actually Bayou's son, it was like, I know you want that to be a gut punch, a real, oh my goodness, this racist man is actually the son of a black man. However, I forgot that happened, so it's like... Yeah. And if I really think about it more, I probably could have predicted it, but again, it was so hard to want to pay attention to this that I couldn't predict it.
Yeah, no, I had kind of the same thing written down. First of all, most of the movie, like, nothing was happening, so it was like... There was nothing to pay attention to. Like, there were very little moments of excitement. Like, there was, like the brother's drug problem was, like, barely discussed. Again, like, main guy was just a doormat for most of the movie. Their, like, whole record deal was pretty much nothing. But, I also wrote that, like, flashback spin angle, like, the letter spin angle was, like, added absolutely nothing to this one.
It was like, very bad.
Almost like took away. I don't know. Like it just didn't do anything for me. I think there was narration in this one too. Was I like doing that or was there?
No. It was narration because I think they were narrating the letters as well.
Okay. Because
it was because what it's supposed to be is in the framework of Bayou's murder. Who killed Bayou or whatever. Yeah. And like you said before, the seeds of a good story are there. As with all Tyler Perry movies, the seeds of a good story are there. But because he keeps the writer's room so freaking closed, you can't get anyone else to come in and like help out, like feel around and be like hey, this is how we can, yes,
you have all these dramatic elements, but you like throw them all and like you make all these characters these extremely unlikable people doing this like very dramatic things, and now it's like I don't like any of this. Like, I'm just sitting here uncomfortable now for 2 hours. So
because I feel as though it was trying to like grab from the Notebook a little bit in terms of like the love letters. We're just hearing the story of their love unfold this entire time. But again, the narration and the letters like went in and out so spottily, and then like randomly he was like, oh, by the way, here are all the letters that he never got. Like there wasn't when in the Notebook, it's very memorable when Noah says to Allie that I wrote you every day for a year. It's very memorable when those letters are missing. For this one, it was kind of like, so she just didn't get the letters, I guess. Mail. Like I don't know what they.
And then, like I don't think the letters did anything to like solve the murder. Like I don't think they would have. Like
no, because the answer to the murder is he was lynched. Whatever, Like what? Yeah. So the framework of this kind of made no sense. I would have done without it if I were them and just told. And just with Tyler Perry, simpler is always better. I would have just told the simple story of like a man who's in love with a white passing woman and that whole journey. I wouldn't have tried to do the whole gotcha. Their son is secretly a racist, the whole. I wouldn't have tried to do all that. I would have just been like, hey, let's just pare it down to like the bare bones of this story and just tell that really well. Like,
yeah.
I would rather have a really good spaghetti dish than a really complicated, convoluted dish that tastes like shit. Like, no. You don't get extra points for making it complicated.
Yeah,
you get less
you
points.
Really don't.
Like,
you
that
really
takes
don't.
away.
Yeah.
Just, like, give me, like, spaghetti and, like, tomato sauce. Do it really well there with, like, fresh ingredients and fresh tomatoes and basil and all that stuff and, like, fresh parm. Do that instead of being like, I'm going to make you a duck à l'orange with this, and then I'm going to have a gastrique, and I'm going to do this and this and this. And then you kind of mess up on the duck, and then you also mess up on the sauce. Like, no. Just give me a simple dish executed well instead of a complicated dish that you think is going to get you extra points.
Yeah. Yeah, the last negative I had, I thought some of the dialogue was a little stiff and, like, weird. especially with, like, their initial, like, falling in love kind of dialogue. I know there was supposed to be some cute couple, but I wasn't feeling it. Yeah, just some awkward conversations I thought they were, so.
I wasn't feeling the couple either.
Yeah.
Even in all my rewinds, I was like, maybe I like this romance, and I was like, no, I don't. Just kidding.
Yeah, they seemed like they could have been cute together, but just, like, the dialogue was weird, and, like, sometimes the way they would, like, stand and look at each other, like, even when they first met, he was like, why do they call you Bayou? And he was like, oh, because my eyes are deep. And then he, like, steps up, looks in her eyes, and she's like, they're not that deep. And then they walk away. I was like, like, little stuff like that. I was like, gross. But, yeah. I was not feeling this one.
God.
I guess, did you have anything else, or ready for ratings?
No, I'm ready for ratings.
Yeah, I guess I'll kick it off. Yeah, I gave this one a 1.5. Just really wanted to like this one. Like, I don't know, I like jazz, I like the blues. I generally don't mind, like, love stories or drama movies, but this one just did not come together at all. Like, between, like, all the characters being unlikable, like, honestly, like, after this one, I was kind of upset, sitting there just upset for, like, a few hours after. Like, I was laying down in bed thinking about, like, damn, like, I really did not like this. Like, the characters were just so annoying. Like, Willie the brother just pissed me off, like, the whole movie.
Yeah.
And Bayou kind of upset me the whole movie. Like, everyone just upset me this whole movie, and, like, again, I came in it wanting to like it, wanting to see, like, okay, like, a good, like, story, some good music, but just got none of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, was not a fan. Was not a fan at all. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why I apologize. Like, you should
What's
apologize
odd is
to
this
me,
is the
but yeah.
this is the highest rated Tyler Perry movie, like his best movie.
Really?
Yeah. It has a 68% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, I did not rate it on Rotten Tomatoes. I was not a fan.
I also gave it a 1.5 out of 5. I, like you, really wanted to like it. I think I saw the premise on Netflix and was like, that actually seems really interesting, like uncovering a murder. I thought there'd be more jazz, to be honest, like the backdrop of jazz while they're doing that. It has all the elements of something that I would really like. Because for as much as we gripe about hating romances in movies that we watch here, I do like rom-coms and, like, romantic movies.
Yeah.
I do like them when they're executed well, but this was not. It had too many Tyler Perry-isms, which is like being in a bubble, writing by yourself so that you don't have anybody outside helping you out to, like, be like, hey, maybe we should have her say this instead of this, or maybe we should, like, just those little things. And again, with the music so generic and just, like, just the lack of care in certain things kind of annoys me. It's like this, and it could have been good because the seeds for a good movie are all there. But yeah,
not my favorite Tyler Perry movie.
no.
Yeah. But yeah, that was. Oh, final question: do you wish you saw this sooner, or do you wish this was made sooner?
I wish this were made better. So
yeah.
No.
I agree, but
I wish
not sooner. Take a few extra years, polish it up a little bit, come up with a song.
Oh, but what was odd about this was he actually wrote this years ago, though.
Yeah, I heard. It was like, this was his first screen? Was this his first
It wasn't his
screenplay?
first.
Was I reading that correctly?
I don't know. I don't remember if it said first screenplay, but this was written like a while before.
No,
this.
I'm reading under production on Wiki. It says Tyler Perry wrote the screenplay, his first, in 1995.
Oh,
Maybe
so this was
his first.
Okay.
Yeah, but
I thought Medea was his first, or Diary of a Mad Black Woman. Or
maybe that was the first one like produced, but I guess
yeah.
I don't know why this one wasn't produced. Apparently, he wanted Diana Ross to play the mom.
Yeah, he wanted Diana Ross in it, but then she was like, she kind of saw the turn and
Read the
was like,
script. Read the dialogue. Was like, oh no.
I'm kind of a beloved figure. Let me not do that. So.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would have a different person do this. Maybe Ryan Coogler, because we just saw Black Panther recently. Shonda Rhimes would definitely have better. Shonda Rhimes can write a romance dialogue. She could with Scandal, Grey's Anatomy. She could do a romance. I would have Shonda Rhimes do it or something like that. Mindy Kaling, I love her. She could have added some zip to this. Now I'm just saying people I would have rather had be in the writer's room.
Yeah.
To help out with this production.
Yeah.
Or even an unknown writer. I don't know. You could, maybe you, viewer, you could have done this better. I don't know.
Ramel Carter.
I don't know your story. Ramel Carter, them over there. Ugh.
But, yeah. I guess his name's not Ramel. I forget what it is. Louis P, something like that. Yeah. But yeah, that was the Jazzman's Blues.
Yes.
Yeah. YouTube housekeeping. Like, comment, subscribe.
Ring the bell for notifications. If you have any movie suggestions for us, you can leave them in the comments down below. We do movies on Tuesdays and Fridays. All of our socials will be linked in the description box down below, and we'll see you next time to catch up. Bye. None of the ones that we've seen for here are my favorite.
Yeah. I think I've only seen one we've seen on here, really.
Because we've had Diary of a Mad Black Woman was garbage. That was annoying.
I like the chaos of that one. I don't know if any of them are great, but I like the chaos of that one.
If I'm not mistaken, Diary of a Mad Black Woman was where she goes back to her husband, and then she goes to Shamar Moore's character and is ask me again, and I was like, it's been a year.
Yeah, I don't think this one got a good rating from either of us, but I just remember that one being chaotic, and I kind of enjoyed the chaos.
It's like you gave up Shamar Moore, even though he has god awful cornrows. Come on, man.
Oh, yeah.